figure this thing out before it's all over with. Hi, welcome back to Justin K. Sweet's realm of possibilities and awesomeness, I guess. I'm your humble host, Justin K. Sweet, as well as also known as Agent Zero. I just thought I'd come in, do just a little, a little short live stream before I go live with a certain one Matt Barr and his jolly clan of awesome people. But I've wanted to kind of, man, I'm just super excited right now. We got Chrome Dog. Chrome Dog is 100% finished. Now it is up to, now it's in the pre-press stage and it is being prepped to go to print. So like, wow, I'm staring over the edge, and it's pretty nerve wracking, to be honest. Because it's kind of like, um, I, maybe it's unfair for me to compare it to the birth of a child because I don't remember being that nervous. It's really strange. Like I knew everything was going to turn out okay with the birth of my kids, but this thing, for whatever reason, I just feel like I'm just like super nervous about my book coming out in its fullness. So a lot of you out there may not know, but I'm also I am in charge of a couple of spinner racks, and well, not just a couple. I'm actually in charge of 3 of them. However, 2 of them seem to be doing very well, and it definitely it's definitely in spurts. And so the other day, I had the opportunity to go and fill up the stock on one of them, and I posted it on Twitter. So I'm going to be sharing that. We're going to be talking about that. Also, because I got the infusion of comics from one Alterna Comics, we're going to be going over some of the comics that I've been reading. I went ahead and just kind of opened a few of these issues, and I managed to read through King Cryptid 1 through 4 yesterday. Also Horace H. Hoover issues 1 and 2. Man, this is good stuff. And it's probably an unpopular opinion among many, but at this point, I feel like there's no right or wrong way to do comics, whether it comes to pricing or comes to the actual production of the comics. They're expensive to make, but once they're made, there's no. I don't believe there's a right or wrong way to try to get them out there in the hands of the public. And so yeah, we're going to talk about that today. But before we get any further, I definitely want to say hello to the chat. And it looks like that's me. Doug Bacon comes in and says, "Hail, Agent Zero," with, was that 5 fire emojis? Oh boy, that's a lot of pressure. He's already throwing up the 5 flames. What do you got for us today? Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive. Yeah, thanks, man. He says congratulations, and 3 hand claps. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where. I guess I could start with what I'm showing over here on my screen. We'll let's get some decent music going. I don't even know which one to put in the background. Yeah, I don't know if I want that one. Yeah, this one's all right. No Hustler Comics review. Nice, Pale Rider. Hey, and welcome. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. If I think you may have joined an early stream of mine, but thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Yeah, no Hustler Comics, no. However, I mean, I could show off some Wolf and Batsy. It's funny, Wolf and Batsy is not allowed on one of my spinner racks that I'm in charge of, much to my own chagrin. I actually read through issue number 1 yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. So it's a shame, but I get it. There's kids that could be present there. So here we are. So I'm gonna Hey, so that's how it works. So if I share the screen, it pops it up over here. But okay, I swear I'm gonna learn this thing before it's all over with. And maybe we'll put it in full screen layout. Hopefully you can still hear me. I hope you can. So I just wanted to show off this this tweet or this post that I sent. I'm actually I'm stunned. It's gotten 11,200 some odd views. Obviously not a lot of engagement compared to those numbers, but Jesus, like it really got out there. And that's pretty darn cool. Like I don't know, like it's only had 36 reposts, but that many views for just a picture of my spinner rack at my local grocery store. Like how cool is that? So yeah, my initial post, it says, who says spinner racks are dead? Special thanks to obviously Arrow Comics, which is at Comics Arrow. If you're not already following them, give them a follow. I mean, it's worth it just to check them out. And at Alterna Comics, which is also it's Peter Cimetti. So I kind of shouted out both of them. And so. So yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about the spinner racks. And I guess we can I don't want to get too lost in the weeds when it comes to these comments, but for the most part, it definitely generated a lot of excitement in the different people that that actually see an active spinner rack in a grocery store again. But one thing I definitely want to caution and let people know about it. If you think that being able to sell comics in this way is going to make you rich or is somehow lucrative, you've got another thing coming. Comics are by no means lucrative. I think maybe there's moments perhaps, or if you do, as Pale Rider brought up, hustler comics, if you want to show that extra skin, I guess there's definitely money to be made in that side of the market, but that's not where I'm at. But what I can tell you is on this spinner rack specifically, right? And it kind of hurts my feelings in a way. So yes, my fifis, are kind of pained. But if you notice down here at the bottom, these are I arranged them this way because these were at the top because that was all that we had, all that I had, all the inventory that I had was Arrow Comics as well as Unstoppable Comics, just basically a bunch of different issues of different comics from the Long Shots campaign. That is a whole that's a whole other thing, and I may or may not ever cover it. But the long and short is there's several creators that got burned by a guy who was essentially trying to put himself out there as a indie comics distributor, but he failed to deliver on anything that he promised. And except that the comics were produced and they were sent to a warehouse, but nothing ever happened to them. And so the comics were redistributed back out to the different creators, and so they have their comics. And so that's how I have a lot of these issues that are on the spinner rack. But the thing is, these comics here, I've had the spinner rack up, and let's see. So the long and short is, I actually put out 4 spinner racks to pasture, if you will, if I can borrow that metaphor. And one of them was at a card shop that they didn't really do comics. They had some back issue comics, but they I put a spinner rack in there, and it didn't do much because my mistake early on was to put the comics in bags and boards and that got people thinking that they were somehow collectible. And yes, I guess, comics, see, and that's probably the controversy, right, for me. I believe comics should be read and they should be shared. If you're going to put them in a bag and a board, they should be, put in a bag and a board to share with the next generation or the next person. It's kind of like keeping it for the next people. Now, if it's a hit and it has a limited print quantity, or it's a hit and you have a really good condition comic, and and it becomes a key issue, blah 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 blah, down the line, sure, it's collectible at that point. But in the meantime, it's supposed to be cheap entertainment. And so the proof has borne out of my comic racks, because when I first started the whole comic rack endeavor, it was before we even went to work on Chrome Dog. When I first entered this space, I'm like, man, I've got to do something. I got to get these indie comics creator-owned books in front of people. And so I was just like, I was running around and I was like, man, I got to do this and that. And so here I am, I'm buying them at wholesale from the publishers, and turning around and pretty much selling them at wholesale to these different retailers that I'm going to. And that's not sustainable, because there's nothing really in it for me. There's nothing in it for me to put gas in my tank to be able to get it there, and this and that. I have kind of learned to make it a little better, so it does kind of pay a little better for me. But the main thing was putting them in bags and boards was a big mistake, and that's mainly because people they see it in a bag and board and they don't want to touch it. It's almost like, ooh, that's I don't want to open it up. I want to keep it nice and pristine. And like I said, comics are supposed to be read and enjoyed, passed around and whatnot. So the long and short is that one that was at the card shop, eventually that card shop actually went under physically. I think they have an online presence, but and I was able to buy back. They kept the spinner rack that I sold them, but I was able to buy back all of the comics that didn't sell, which unfortunately were all of these $4.99 price point comics that you see at the bottom of this picture. And it hurts my feelings, because 3 of the 4 of these comics that we see down here are Arrow comics. And high quality books, like, they're worth the $4.99, but people aren't willing to pay that, because they want, again, we go back to cheap entertainment. Comics are meant to be read and then disposed of. I mean, that's kind of magazines, right? The old magazine model. You read it and you toss it. And so the one thing that's been pretty good over the year, as long as there's good titles to put up, or people are wanting to be engaged with them, are these alternate comics, which are $1.99 comics. And actually, maybe we can swap over here and I can share this, and maybe I can do solo layout and you can hear me fine. So with these, you're looking, it's a $1.98 on the cover. We're looking, this is newsprint, but the color quality is fantastic. I really don't know where Peter Samedi, has these printed. I definitely want to know, so that I can get Chrome Dog printed in such a way. But the thing that I've noticed is that, as soon as I put the comics out, as long as the titles are something that the people are interested in, or the kids are interested in, like, it takes time. Sometimes, like, if I were to go in there and check, like, every week or whatnot, they don't seem like they're moving. But if I wait a few months and then I come back in, they're just like completely out. So it's almost, people are buying them. I guess it's just a seasonal thing, or a certain time or whatnot. And I'm really hoping that these Horace H. Hoovers do really well in this grocery store, as well as the King Cryptid, which I'm pretty confident that these 2 titles are going to do fantastic in there. And I certainly hope so. But with that, again, $1.98 is a whole lot easier to swallow when you're standing there at the cash register, looking at a comic, and you're like, wow, that comic looks really fun. Here, let me just throw down a couple dollars, especially right now with food prices, gas prices, everything else going up. We need to get back to a place where comics should be affordable, be closer to that, that cheap entertainment, and not necessarily collectibles. Duck Bacon says that's a brilliant idea. How did you think of getting into the comic vending game? So, I really I well, so I remembered when I came back into the indie comic space. When I came back into it, listen to me. When I came into this space, and I came back to comic books, right? I s- I remember feeling nostalgic for all of the spinner racks that I used to enjoy when I would go to the grocery store. Like Kroger or whatnot. They had magazine racks and spinner racks and everything else, and I would consume my comics that way. I would buy them, um, and and heck, even back then the price point was $1.90, 95 or so. I could probably pull out some Punisher comics that have that price point on them back then. And my how times have changed. um, but and the thing is, I feel like people are hungry again for this type of entertainment, and we need to be able to give people what they want rather than always trying to cater towards these comic shops that are closing left and right. Which, I'm not saying that we shouldn't cater to the direct market, but at the same time there should be alternatives. It's like okay, so my idea is this: Chrome Dog, the crowdfunding campaign specifically, to those who back the campaign, right? What if I give them a premium book? I press print once for those, and then when they're gone, they're gone. They're gone forever. So those can be the collectible items, right? They're premium paper, and it's first print and this and that, and then any other subsequent prints, I go with a lower quality, and even newsprint style, and have a much lower price point so that people can actually consume these on a wider scale. And I think that's what's missing. Having comic shops, these big companies, having the comic shops absorb all this cost, eating these comics for all the different variants that they can get and everything else. It's just not sustainable, and it hasn't been. And so, Woke Breaker says, "Hey, chat. Hey, Woke. How's it going?" Um, but the thing. Let's kind of circle back. When I first started, I mean, um, well, you don't even see me. Hold on. There we go. maybe when I maybe when I do the thing. Yeah. All right. So, when I first started with these racks, I was taking on the nose. I mean, even now, I, I'm not there every week, at any of the different racks that I'm in charge of. I have one at this grocery store. I have one at a what's known as, like a head shop or a stoner shop, a place where they sell, certain paraphernalia for certain controlled substances, I guess. And so that place, I mean, anything goes. Like there, I can put anything, like like I can put these Horace H. Hoovers there, or the King Cryptids, but I can also do Wolf and Batsy. I can do all of the Blood Realm stuff. Like anything flies there. I finished reading The Chair yesterday, and boy, that's a wild ride. Um, but yeah, but the thing is, the my initial idea was, hey, I'm going to establish them with the spinner rack. I'm going to give them all the information that they need to order the comics and fill the rack themselves. But nobody wants to do that. These store owners, they don't care anything about that. They basically, it's just fallen back on me to be the one to provide them with the comics. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And so, um, here we are, and I'm just one guy. I live in a semi-rural area. I live in a rural area, but in a town nearby. um, that's where the other two racks are and everything else. I mean, um, but yeah, I really think, in order for it to take off, if it's even going to take off, we've definitely got to come down on these prices. But anyway, I just wanted to say a little bit about that before diving into some of what we have, and change to our next little segment, if you will. I think I'm trying to figure out how do I. Stop screen. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's dive into this thing. And I don't know if I should do solo layout. Maybe if I do this. Wait. Hold on. Give me a second. There we go. All right. So you heard I'm on the right, and here's Horace H. Hoover. So one thing I wanted to kind of go over is I want to do a little bit of a deep dive on some of what I noticed in these issues. This book is 100%, according to what it says, the crediting is 100% done by this gentleman by the name. It's Story, Art, and Letters by Fabrizio Aiello. That is huge. To know that one person does everything that's going to be contained in this tome is like, what? I mean, I feel like I'm way behind here. And here I am, trying to draw, trying to learn to draw and everything else. And that's probably a fool's errand on my part. I should probably just focus on my writing and getting my stories in a way that need to be done. But I wanted to point out a few things about this, about how these are, how it's done. And I'm trying to remember. It might be in here. There's this lettering trick that he does that I just thought was the coolest. He kind of goes in. Oh yeah, right here. I really like this. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit there. So here, let me get this out of the way. So right here, we see this character has opened the door to Horace H. Hoover, right? And so we can kind of guess what he's trying to say here with the letters, but the door is not letting the words in edgewise, right? Same with this. How cool is that? I mean, it's surreal, right? But in such a good way, I think. There's also this character named Slurp, right? It's this alien-looking character, this green. I don't know what he is. Here's somewhat of a close-up of him. He's wild, right? But he always talks in this green, can't read kind of language, and so I think that's fun as well. But yeah, I thought this was, what an interesting choice to take a word balloon, right? One of the things, and I don't feel like it's a spoiler, but one of the characteristics of this Horace H. Hoover is he likes to use big words. He also likes to say a lot of words. So seeing the word balloons just completely cut off on the outside of the door, like that's pretty damn cool. So I had to shout that out. That's a lot of daggum fun. Very cool. Very cool stuff. This is an interesting little series. And I'm trying to remember what else was it. I think John from John's Longbox told me that it reminded him of Hellboy, which I can see that. I can definitely see that. Maybe not the art style so much as it's the story. But yeah, man, it's some wild stuff. Anyway, I did. I wanted to point that out. And then King Cryptid. Wow, this man, Peter Samedi. I can't say enough good about this book. It is, it's so fun, and so needed. I think the way just what happens in the stories, how compelling it is, how heroic King Cryptid is. the presentation of everything is just spot on. I'm really getting a kick out of these books, and again, not to harp on it, but that $199 price point is a really good way for a person to get in, and like, because if you look at it, right, so $1.99, so 4 comics at $1.99 each is around the same price as, say, one variant cover of a certain DC comic. Let that sink in. This is 4 entire issues, story that's on point, fun, and doesn't, is not preachy, but there is a message in here, right? It's a little bit of a message. There's that nature needs to be nurtured, right? And be respected and helped and healed. And so, and it's not, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it or anything like that. But it's fantastic. But this is one of the coolest parts. You ready? You ready for this? Here we go. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to flip them. And so now we also have 2 covers each book. Now, my first thought when I realized that these were flip books, right? They're not a flip book. It's just a cover that's on the back. So so Peter went out of his way to do extra covers for these 4 issues. Now, I don't know what he's got planned for issue 5 through 9, but I'm just going to tell you that the sheer fact that these exist in this way, I mean, these are just incredible. And so what I've done, I have to say, Peter Samedi has not sponsored, he's not officially paid me anything for this video. If anything, he's granted me permission to become a retailer for him, and so I'm able to get his the Alterna Comics at a retailer's price, to be able to get them on the spinner racks and for others to enjoy. But these are just a lot of fun, and not only that, right? But he's also, this is something that's really cool that I wanted to highlight as well. So he has this initiative here, and he says, hey, you, Alternative's reader reward exclusives are fit for a king, right? So it's got this classic Marvel, kind of thing. And so what it is you cut out stamps, right? So you cut out these little pieces, and unfortunately you're gonna, cut into this ad if you do it. But if you cut out these stamps, right? Look at this. It's a mail away kind of situation, right? Like, who does this anymore? How cool is that? 20 stamps, you get an alternate comics magnet. 35 stamps, you get Timey Tim trading card. 50 stamps, you get a 11x17 King Cryptid mini poster signed by Peter Samedi. 65 stamps, alternate comics 11-ounce color orange mug or change mug, color change mug. Oh, the mug changes color, I guess, when it gets hot. Hail Marcus Killebrew. Killebrew. I read both series. Well, that's great, man. Yeah, these, I'm reading them. Of course, it's easy for me, right? Because I bought them in bulk for my, for the spinner racks. But, and I'm kind of taking these and I'm setting them aside for myself as I'm, it's a way for me to consume as well, right? So, it's for me too. And then 80 stamps here for Alterna Comics 60x80 fleece blanket. So you can get an Alterna Comics blanket for 80 stamps. So 80 stamps with 2 stamps per comic. So you're looking at 40, you get 40 comics, and you fix them. I guess you would fix them to a piece of paper or whatnot. Yeah, cut these issues above and combine it with other cover stamps. Make sure the total stamps equal the amount needed to receive your chosen reader reward exclusive item. That's just fun, and again, we go right back to what I said earlier: cheap form of entertainment. And this can be its own game, right? Who says that collecting comics has to be, I'm gonna throw them in a slab and turn them into a gigantic trading card that will never be opened or enjoyed? Why does that collecting game have to be the only game in town, right? Why can't we just take a bunch of, collect stamps out of the back of every issue, right? So we got, cover stamps here, then we go over here, we got cover stamps here, and then we just and that can be the collector's game, right? um just, it's just there's just so much more to this market than just the status quo of what the big two have got us all hooked on. And so, I mean, that's pretty much all that I've got for you today. I wanted to come in, um, talk about something, as I'm wont to do. I try to be positive. I try to do the thing, and not browbeat, and beating dead horses, or for nothing else. I don't want to talk anything about Hollywood, because Hollywood's dead. I liked King Cryptid so much that I drew an 11 by 17 ink piece. Did you happen, just out of curiosity, Marcus, did you submit it to the King's Letters? And yeah, I guess I'll end on this. I have to, because we're coming up on my time. So that's something else. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, we've got right here, we've got a mail to the king. Oh, I'm not even showing now. Hold on. There we go. Let me do this. Put on this. There you go. So, mail to the king, right? So we've got these letters that people like Dr. Mask. We all know Dr. Mask from chat and Twitter. Did you ever think you'd have your own comic? And then King Cryptid says, "No, it's still a little strange, to be honest, but I'm grateful for readers like yourself." Oh, anyway, that's so cool. But yeah, I mean, if you did a piece of fan art, and if you haven't sent it in, Marcus, I mean, oh, cool. Pete may print it. That is so cool, man. Shoot, yeah. That's what it's all about, man. Like that's the, if anything, it's time for us to get to start a revolution. Okay. And that revolution needs to be less expensive comics into the hands of more and more people. We need to be thinking about volume, right? Volume and quantity in the hands of more and more readers. We need to expand our reader bases and get out of this whole mode that we are, somehow, in the collector's game. Let's slab a comic, let's buy a comic for $35 and then pay a premium to have it slabbed, or whatever it is that's going on in different crowdfunding circles. I'm not calling anybody out, because each one of us is going to do our business the way we know how, or the way that we think is the right way. But what I am saying, if I'm calling anything, is that I'm calling out to everybody to try to think of new ways to get indie comics to, if the mainstream has left the spinner racks, then maybe it's time we should bring them back as an indie movement. And there's more and more people producing comics, and so there's more and more people being able to do exactly what I'm doing by placing these in strategic areas, and also sharing the wealth with people. And what I mean by wealth is saying, hey, this one post on Twitter got 11,000 or so views, and so that's a lot of people looking at a picture of a spinner rack in a supermarket after all these years. How cool is that? So go out there and pick up a comic. Try to click the link that I have pinned there in the chat for, and I'll try to throw it in the video description for those coming in and actually like watching this after the fact. But yeah, go out there, buy a comic, or 3 or 5 or 40 or not 40. I guess it's 40 stamps, so it would only be, it's 2 per. So yeah, 40 comics, and get yourself an alternate comics blanket. So with that, eat your vegetables and enjoy our wild America.